Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I need to tell you all about Frank. This is a story time that is gonna be popping. But first I need to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Vera Ezimora. I am a writer, I am a podcaster, a content creator, and a speaker. If you are seeing me for the very first time, hello, you are now a sweet potatoes. Welcome. Sweet potatoes are my tribe, so you are officially a sweet potato. And if you are already a sweet potato, hey, hey, hey. So let's get into it. I want to tell you today about Frank. I met Frank a really long time ago. Like I was in my 20s, I believe my early 20s. I used to attend this Niger church. It was a redeemed church. I'm not going to specifically name the church, but it's not exactly a secret. If you know, you know where I used to go to church. But I haven't been a member of that church in over a decade. Yes, I left in 2013. So we're in 2015, so 12 years. Anyway, so I met Frank in that church. And of course, Frank is not his real name. Frank approached me. He made his intentions known, like, hey, girl, I like you. I want to date you. And I was like, no. I mean, Frank was okay, right? He was just not my type. From here to there, it's just not. It just wasn't gonna work out. So I said no. I was like, yeah, I'm not. I don't remember what excuse I gave. I know that at some point I perfect. Oh, you know what? I do remember now. I do remember the excuse I gave. I told Frank that I was in a relationship. I wasn't, but I had perfected telling men that because if I said I wasn't ready, I was not in a good place, I'm too busy, I'm unavailable, whatever it is, that they tend to take that to mean push harder, right? So I learned to say I'm somebody's girlfriend, and a lot of times they would back off. Some others, like Frank, was not having it. So Frank, I kept telling Frank, hey, I'm not interested. And Frank told me that the pastor of the church had told him that any girl where you see for here, if you like her, tell me. Any girl you want to marry. So Frank threatened me. Me. Frank threatened me that he was going to report me to the pastor because I wasn't giving him face. I said, do it. Do it, Frank. Go and tell. I want to, me self, I want to see what the pastor, is he going to beat me? What's going to happen? Go and tell him. I don't think he ever did tell him because I was never summoned to the office. But the other thing Frank told me was, do you know how many girls in this church want me? I mean, so you guys, you can understand why I'm like, Frank, okay, I work. It's not going to work. A man telling me, do you know how many? I said, I think so. Go to them. Literally, I told him, I said, well, why don't you go to them? You keep coming over here. I said, no, I already have a boyfriend. Frank was not hearing it. I think that this was all about the conquest, by the way. Let me segue off this topic a little bit. I started writing publicly. I started writing on the internet as a teenager. I was maybe like 19 or so when I started writing. Back then, I used to write on Nigerian Village Square. Those of you who have been on the internet for a while or you know all the sites, I started with Nigerian Village Square. I did some other ones, I don't remember, but Nigerian Village Square was my first one. And like I said, I was a teenager, but you know what I used to write about? Relationships. It was always men, this one, relationship, that, being a husband, being a wife. What did I even know about these things? Nothing. I didn't even have a boyfriend. But the thing is, I wrote with my real name, but not my face. So nobody knew how young I was. I used to get emails because that time it wasn't comments on social media, right? It wasn't Instagram comments. It was emails. So I would get emails from someone who did not agree with what I said. And they would tell me, you are very stupid. I don't agree with what you said. You are a frustrated 39-year-old woman. 39. But it made me feel good that I was coming across as being that old. Like to me, that meant that what I was saying made sense. Okay, now why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this to say that the good thing about me having been on the internet publicly for this long is that I have learned that some people, and this is men and women, but let's focus on men, that some men approach me and say, I love you, I like you, and blah, blah, blah. But they don't actually love me. It's not Vera Zimora that they love. It's Verastic. It's who they think Verastic is. This girl who is opinionated. She's not shy. She has grits and guts, and she just says it as it is. And she's a strong woman, and I want a strong woman. They don't really want a strong woman, by the way, and they definitely don't want me. They want my persona. It's not that Verastic is a fake version of me. It's just that I show up on the internet as Verastic. When I'm done recording my content, when I'm done writing my content, whatever it is I'm doing, then I become Vera Ezimor, right? I wipe off the makeup, I take off the clothes, and I go and become myself. I am a homebody. You barely see me outside. The little bit I do go, I'll have some fun, but I'm mostly a homebody. Okay, now let's get back into the story about Frank. I mentioned this to tell you that although Frank was saying he loved me, like, yeah, he said he loved me, I knew that Frank did not love me. He liked Verastic, okay? I had that used to happen a lot, but thankfully, I was granted wisdom to learn early enough that not everybody who is saying I love you, I like you, actually love you. They don't even like you. And if they were to get to know you, they won't be able to stand you. But okay, so Frank threatened to report. I don't think he ever did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still took his phone calls. Um, Not every time I took his phone calls, but sometimes I would take his phone calls and then I would put Fumi on three-way. Fumi, I'm opening your yash again. I would put Fumi on three-way. In my defense, she didn't say no. She wanted to be part of it. I'll put Fumi on three-way. She'll mute her phone. Sometimes this idiot would fall asleep. Fumi is my best friend, by the way, for those who don't know. I forgot. I keep forgetting that sometimes there's a new audience. So Fumi is my best friend of over 2 decades. And sometimes she would be on the phone. She would mute her phone and be listening to the conversation. Sometimes this idiot would fall asleep and wake up and continue listening to the conversation. So she would listen to everything we're saying. Then when I was done talking with Frank, would have a discussion and talk about, oh my God, he said XYZ. Okay. So if you're a guy and you and I used to talk in my 20s, like especially in my early 20s, Fumi probably listened to our conversation. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna confess. Now there were only two guys that I did not do that to, and I guess I really liked those ones. Everybody else was fair game. Like, yeah, Fumi, girl, come listen to this mess. Okay, so Frank would say all these things, and Fumi and I would dissect the conversation after. So, Frank had money. I'm putting in air quotes because compared to me, he definitely had money. For starters, he was older. But I was in my early 20s. I don't remember if I was, yes, I had graduated. I had graduated college, but I was still working as a caregiver at this point. How much was I making? Peanuts. So I was broke 20 something year old girl, right? I drove a 98 Corolla at this time. So Frank said to me one time, several things Frank did. Let's start with the first one. He randomly said to me, by the way, Frank was not an Igbo guy. One thing I've also noticed with some non-Igbo men is they have this impression that Igbo women just love money and they're all about money. Money, 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 money. Once you give them money, that their body will start shaking, okay? So although I did not have it and I wanted it, it wasn't, money has never, ever, ever, ever been a thing that I would compromise my values for. Like, I feel like it's just too liquid and too flexible and it can come here today and leave tomorrow. Why would I, you know what I mean? So anyway, Frank said to me randomly, I don't know what's wrong with my mother. She's always stressing me. And I'm like, why? What's the problem? He says, my mother gave me this money and I don't even need it. Do you want it? And I'm like, pardon? Do I want what? The money. I don't need it. Do you want it? How much is the money? $3,000. It might not be so much today, it might not even pay your mortgage today. But back then, especially in the position that I was in, $3,000 was a big deal. It would probably be like giving me $30,000 today. Just here, Vera, do you need 30K? Please take it, take it, take it. I don't need it. So he said he did not need this money. Do I want it? And I'm like, why? Nothing. I don't need it. If you want it, you can have it. Uh-huh. What do I have to do? Nothing. I'm just giving you, I don't need it. And I'm like, you're gonna give me cash of $3,000? He said no, he was not gonna give cash. He wanted to either transfer the money or write me a check. It was something. But either way, I was like, yeah, no, I don't need it. I'm good. You guys, I lied. I needed that money. It would have gone a long way for me. Okay, that's one thing Frank did. Let's go to number two thing Frank did of this habit of throwing money at me, the Igbo girl who once you give her money, she will fall yakata. Like I said, I used to drive a 1998 Toyota Corolla. My crush car, the car I had a crush on at that time, was a Toyota Solara. I don't know. I don't even know if they still make it. I feel like I haven't seen it on the road in a while. But it's this two-door car, and it's just pretty and feminine, and I really liked it. But I didn't have one. I had a Corolla. But I had mentioned to Frank how much I used to crush on this car. Like, if you're somebody that I talk to often, you probably know what I'm crushing on. Like right now, I'm crushing on a Kia Telluride, and there's a Lexus I'm crushing on. But I keep forgetting the Lexus's name because Lexus, their cars, they don't give them names; they give them like letters. It's like alphanumericals. So I tend to forget what that alphanumeric thing is. But is a Lexus and a Kia Telluride. So I'm telling you now, in case you have one that you want to dash me, I will take it this time. I don't change. I will take them. So Frank said to me, I have this car. It was a red Toyota Solara. Do you want it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Do I want it? He's like, yeah, you can have it. And I'm like, have it as in how? For how much? He said, you don't have to pay. We can just trade. Like, I'll give him my Corolla and I'll take the Solara. And I was like, why? Nothing. You like the car. I have the car. I don't need the car. You can have it. Give me your Corolla and take this one. And I'm like, just like that. Yes, just like that. Free of charge. Yes. No strings attached. Yes. I did not take the car. I wanted to. I mean, my crush. Think about it. Your crush is finally available. And I had to say no because I did not trust that this offer was free. In fact, I knew that this offer was not free. Let me also segue from here also. A lot of young people, men and women these days, they want things really fast. It's not about, they don't really understand that there has to be hard work. They don't understand that progress takes time. Yes, there might be a handful of people who progress does not take time. Success does not take time for them. Like say they launch a YouTube channel today and they go viral tomorrow, and next tomorrow they're at 1 million subscribers. Yeah, there are people like that, but that's not the norm, right? For most people, it takes time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It builds your character, it builds your work ethic, it does a lot of things. But a lot of young people today, especially with social media, like, give it to me right now. I don't care. I want it right now. And all they want to do is flex on the internet. Gaskia is not going to go past that. It's to go on Instagram and be like, hey, look what I'm driving, look what I'm wearing, look where I'm eating. That's about it, right? So Frank offered me this car and I had to turn it down. And it hurts me to the bone that I still think about it. Like, I could have been driving a Toyota Solara instead of my beat up Toyota Camry. I mean, Corolla. But I turned it down. I already knew that Frank wanted something from me. There was no way I was going to pretend. Like, I felt like even if he did the exchange, I would now be indebted to him, right? Like, I would have to take his calls more than I wanted to. And he might not ask me for sex, or at least not at first, but he's gonna ask me for things that I didn't want to give, like my time. Hey, let's have dinner. I don't want to be out. I did not want to be outside with Frank. Like, I didn't want people seeing us together, but I would have to do that now. My thing was, if I get seen with Frank, then it looks like we're a couple, or at least something is going on. Ain't nothing going on. So there was none of that. But if I took this car from him, I was now going to be indebted to him. So I said no. One thing I care about is my name. It's different if people are telling a lie, like, just there's this rumor, it's not even true. Somebody has just made up something. versus I've actually done the thing and I've given them the information. I've given them the right to basically insult me. I've given people the right to belittle me. I don't like that at all. And I'm like, see, there aren't many Veras, you know. You can count how many of us. If somebody says, "Oh, did you see Frank and Choma outside?" Then you'll be like, "Choma, who's Choma? What's Choma's last name? What does Choma look like? Did you see Frank and Vera? How many we be, Kwano? How many are we?" You'd be easy to point out which Vera it was. It was me, that one that used to write nonsense on the internet. No, I was not about to go down like that. So I said no, no. But that's not all. Of course, that's not all. The ultimate thing that Frank did was one day he wanted to talk to me and he handed me a piece of paper. I didn't know what the paper was. I opened the piece of paper. I think I wrote about Frank. I'm pretty sure I wrote about Frank on the blog maybe years ago. And I opened up the piece of paper trying to figure out what is Frank talking about. I didn't understand what it was in the paper. So I'm like, what is this? I don't know what it is. And Frank tells me, oh, that's my HIV status. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? That's my HIV status. I'm negative. In case you're worried, in case that's the reason you don't want to sleep with me. You guys, I've been through it. This man, whom I wasn't even going to be seen outside with, thought that my problem, my reason for not sleeping with him was maybe I wasn't sure about his HIV status. Like we weren't even there. You know what I mean? We didn't even kiss. I don't even think we hugged. Oh, phew. So to give me this HIV status and say is in case that's why you don't want to sleep with me. But I know why Frank felt that way. It's because there were women in Frank's life that had thrown themselves at him, especially with him having small money, you know? They had thrown themselves at him. Anything Frank says, oh my God. And I'm like, ew, disgusting. So ultimately, I stopped talking to Frank. I did not block him, but I changed his name on my phone to do not answer Frank. I have a bunch of do not answers. So at first, I didn't used to put the name. I just do not answer. But now I would save it as do not answer and I'll put the person's name because I wanted to know when the person called. So I saved his number as do not answer Frank. And he sent me messages on WhatsApp, on Facebook. He'd call. Eventually, he got tired of contacting me as I wasn't contacting him back. But that is a wonderful story of Frank, his car, his money, and his HIV status. Before I get off this video, I just want to say, girls, 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 or you want me to say ladies, This one is for you. I'm not going to tell you that every man who approaches you and says he likes you is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I won't say that. And I don't believe it anyway. It's not true. Some men genuinely do like you and want to get to know you. But ladies, here's one thing that we're really good at doing is we lead with our emotions. We reason with our emotions. Even when a man has told us and shown us, this girl, this is who I am, or this is what I want, we close our eyes, we put on our heart-shaped glasses, and we carry on. I sincerely believe that in our community, I mean in our Niger community, our men are badly raised. We don't do a great job of raising our men to be people of integrity. We teach them to be providers and we teach them to make money and we teach them to be men. You know, men don't cry. Men are tough. We teach them that, but we don't teach them how to lead. We don't teach them how to be husbands. We teach them how to get wives. We teach them how to desire women, how to desire wives, desire children, but how to be fathers, how to be husbands. We don't really teach them that. This is not me saying that men are free from blame from anything that they do. And this video is not even about telling you that men are terrible, because I sincerely do not believe that. But ladies, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. It's your responsibility to look out for yourself. It's your responsibility that when somebody shows you who they are, you believe them. It's your responsibility to think critically about things. I try to not put myself in situations that I regret. And if I sit here and tell you that I've never put myself in a situation I regret, I would be lying through my teeth. That would be a big fat lie. I've done so many stupid things. Sometimes Fumi and I will sit down, we talk, and I'm like, oh my God, how were we that stupid? So I'm just telling you now, before you make the mistake, before you do the thing, that you should think about that. Think about if this is something that when you look back on, you be proud of yourself. When I think about Frank, there is no moment, not one moment, that I think about Frank and I'm like, oh God, I regret doing insert whatever it is with him. And I'm so happy for myself. I am so proud of myself. Because like I said, I was in my 20s. I was like in my early 20s. I don't know if our brains are fully developed by then, but I know that at that age, we do a lot of stupid things. And I did a lot. Frank just wasn't one of them. So I just want to tell you, you can get whatever it is for yourself. If it is a product, a materialistic thing, you can get it yourself. We're in 2025, ladies. We do not depend on men to do these things. You can do it yourself. You want a car? You can buy it yourself. You want a house? You want jewelry? What is it? A vacation? Listen, have you seen what women are doing? Do you know that in America, for example, most businesses are being started by women? That most of the college graduates, they are women? Do you see what our agenda is doing? And then you sit there and you wait for a man to give you money for a date. I feel like I've gone into a completely different subject. So I'm going to end it here. But I just want to tell you, ladies, watch out, please. Look out for yourself. It is your responsibility. As long as you're an adult and you are able, it is your responsibility. Okay? Thank you for watching Sweet Potatoes. I do have a newsletter in the link, not in the link. I do have a newsletter in the description. Please subscribe to the newsletter. It is free and it is amazing, if I do say so myself. And if you've not even subscribed, like why are we going through, why are we having this conversation every time? I'm about to start charging you guys money for not subscribing. So go ahead and subscribe. Thank you, Sweet Potatoes. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.